Question everything, for the truth should not be televised. And that's for sure. So with that, you know, America, United States, the empire, the greatest criminal empire the world has ever seen. Now, why do I call America the greatest criminal empire the world has ever seen? Well, think about it. Let's think about America, for instance. How was America, not America itself, but United States, how was the United States founded? It was founded on what? Destruction of a people, right? Our people. It was founded on what? POWing our people, prisoners of war, putting our people into shackles, into slavery on their own land. It was founded in the sense of lying about who we were, what we was doing, and what we had here as a civilization. Because we were civilized. That's why they tell you they stopped us from reading. They didn't say you didn't know how to read. They said they stopped you. Anyone that know how to read, most 2 to 1 is civil. And if you're civil, then you're civilized. And if you're civilized, you have a civilization. It's just what it is. Thus, they stopped you from reading. Thus, you knew how. So when you look at United States, you got to look at it from what it really is. It's a Holocaust, a massacre, and a genocide, and an enslavement of a people that also came with them stealing all the goods and all the land and even the people, because they stole our other people that was around the world, as well as in Africa and many other places that we had little colonies of. Because when the Swati Wish people, which is the Jews, when they fell with the Moabites in Spain and Portugal in the 1400s, especially after the Great War of 1455, they had to flee from Spain, Portugal, and Europe. They went into Africa. They was all out throughout the western shores of Africa because they had to move through Africa because the Crees came out to find Judah and crush us. They knew about this. So when we settled on the western shores of Africa and throughout Africa, that's why you gotta look up the maps of Negro land and so on. For all y'all don't like the word Negro, go look up the maps. Get educated on this stuff. So when we went throughout Africa, we were sold out, just like we're being sold out still until 2025 and hated by all nations today. It was the same type of play. It was money on our heads. The other nation within Africa knew about it. The Africans found out about it and realized, yo, man, these people ain't our people, and they got money on their head and we can get paid. No doubt. Why you think we was sold out there? They tried to say Africans were selling Africans, but they were selling the 12 tribes. They were selling our people, our bloodlines. And they were selling them back around the world, from Africa to America to everywhere. But it started in America when they started selling our people all around the world. They were so blown away that America was so dominantly Swati meaning black. They was just Taunti meaning black. They were so caught stupid to the point where they had to bring some of us back to the Queen of Europe at the time, which was really somebody that took over the seat of Europe, because once again, Swati Jews and the Moabites, they ruled that. They ruled it from 711 AD, the Djibouti Bridge, when they crossed it, and stood up there for over 800 years to the 1400s. So who was ruling? It was our people ruling. That's just what it is. We dominated Europe as well. So finally, when you look at United States and they running around here, we always talking about, oh man, stop the violence. Stop the violence. How can you stop the violence in a country that was built off of violence and never ever been brought to justice? This is why I call it the greatest criminal empire the world has ever seen. Because it never been brought to justice. They never been charged for the crimes against humanity that they've done to our people. They never left. They still on the land, controlling all the stolen resources and goods, all the mines, the gold mines, the diamond mines, and everything else that they took here by violence and force. And they turned it into generational wealth for their people. At the same time, giving our people what? Generational poverty. That was done on purpose. Why? Because we are the people of the land. They can't give us no real perks to get on. And the ones that they do give us real perks, remember, you got to go back to the plantations. What was they doing? They was splicing our people between field brothers and sisters and house brothers and sisters. Those that was willing to sell us out and those that was willing to stand with their people and never sell us out. That's just the reality to it. And those that was willing to sell us out became celebrities, actors, entertainers, overseers, handlers, tethers, you name it. That's what we have today. It's the same thing. And they still hold true to being for massa than being for their own people. Why? Because that dollar is a weapon too. The dollar is very strong. You best to believe that. The dollar can get stronger than the pen. And the pen is mighty, just as mightier than the weapon, which is the dukes. That's just what it is. And they know that. So all this has been manipulative when it comes to our people. So when you look at the United States, the greatest criminal empire the world has ever seen, you're looking at what? Corruption, greed, hatred, racism, crazy violence to the point where children can't even be safe in school. All this stuff is perpetuated from those that came to the land and never been judged by their crimes. And when you're not judged by your crimes, then you don't see no wrong. The key is, how do you keep a land? You got to bait a switch. You declassify the people out of their identity that you took the land from. You teach them that everything that they was about is evil to them, at the same time as you absorb it to yourself to become the likeness of what they were, while they become the likeness of what you came as. And this is the bait a switch. And that's what's been happening to our people. So now you got the colonizers running around the country acting like somehow they became more righteous after doing all sorts of heinous, destructive crimes against our people, and in turn done fed our people violence and destruction against themselves to market it to the world as if we the ones that always been violent and criminal, degenerate, and you name it. And that's the bait a switch. And they've been absorbing us and in doing this for so many years to where now it's become a norm. And now you running around here talking about stop the violence in a country that never ever been judged for its violence. That doesn't make any sense. But see, when you're not dealing with on a logical stance of what we supposed to be thinking at,